Yo, what is up guys, Ultimate Bioz. In today's video is another story time. And today's story time is going to be the first basketball game I ever played. This happened a long time ago, around 2013. Maybe a few of you guys watching this are probably there. They're like my family, so we're going to get straight into it. So back in 2013, I was in 6th grade, and basketball tryouts are coming up in my school. And I was like, I want to try out, and I was kind of hesitant. I was back and forth, I didn't know. And I finally ended up convincing myself to try out, and ended up doing really well. Actually, ended up making the second team, which basically it was really confusing how they chose a team. So there was one main team, then there was going to be another team that practiced outside the school. So I ended up making that team, and it was still kind of crazy the fact that I made a team, because when I look back at 6th grade, I was a shitty ass player. I did not know how to play basketball whatsoever. So around this time, I'm playing NBA 2K every day. Favorite player is Carmelo Anthony when he's on the Knicks. I love basketball so much. Literally all I think about the whole day, just watching NBA every day, playing 2K, even playing at the park, just really loving the game of basketball. So we ended up practicing, quite a bit before our first game. So a week or two we practiced. I'm starting to get a little more comfortable with my teammates, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling confident. So around December is our first game, and I'm kind of preparing for it mentally. I'm just kind of envisioning myself dominating the game, even though back then I was completely garbage at the game of basketball. I still loved the game though. I didn't care if I sucked or how bad it was. I still loved the game. So our first game was on a Saturday around it was at 12:11. It was kind of early in the day, because basically how the games would work, they would all be on a Saturday. The first team would play at 7 in the morning, the last team would play at 4. So throughout the season you got to experience each game, you got to experience playing at a different time. So this game was in at 11, I think. And I remember walking to the gym, and I was just seeing tons of kids, and there was tons of people sitting down. I remember I started feeling that nerves a little bit. And that morning of the game, I remember waking up and I was just watching YouTube, watching NBA highlights and NBA mixtapes, and I was just watching NBA players, watching their highlights, and I remember I was just getting myself so pumped. I think I'm not sure. I think I might have wore a headband that game. I don't know. There was one game I wore a headband, Melo, but that was a long time ago. So we're waiting for the other team to finish the game so we can go ahead and play ours. And, I'm just kind of just mentally preparing. I don't know what's going to happen. I've never played a game before, so this is my first ever organized basketball game. So with refs, rules, everything. So I was kind of nervous. So I ended up coming off the bench my first game, and this was kind of the only game I ever came off the bench. I think after that, I was starting most of the games. And I remember I was just waiting for my name to be called to go up there and just play. And we were playing a pretty good team, and it was kind of surreal that I was actually playing an actual game in front of people, with refs and coaches and rules and regulations and all that. It was pretty surreal. So the coach calls me and you're like, Freddie, you're up, Obviously me, I'm thinking I'm Carmelo Anthony. When in reality, I'm Carlos Boozer or somebody. Because I'm that bad, but I'm still feeling confident in myself, and I know I'm going to do good. And my whole dream in basketball ever is to hit a buzzer beater for the win. I don't know, something special about that for me. I haven't done it yet, but if I can hit a buzzer beater to win the game, that would be something off my bucket list, because that, to me, that's one of the best feelings you can probably experience. I've never experienced that before, but hopefully one day, I get to experience that. So it's the end of the first quarter. There's a couple seconds left. I get the ball on the wing. I try to shoot it for a 3. There's 3 guys that gang up on me, and they all stuff the shit out of me. I fell on the floor. Some people were laughing. It was embarrassing. But I picked myself up after that play, and I kind of moved on. Keep in mind, for those of you that don't know, if you play elementary basketball, the scoreboard doesn't go high. I think the most points I ever saw in a game was 50 or something. And usually in the NBA, they score 50 like in the first half, like, or you'd be like the Warriors that score 92 in the first half. I mean, so obviously elementaries, basketball is like low scoring games. Not a lot of scoring, but you know, it's still fun. So we're in the fourth quarter. It's about like a couple minutes left. It's like a close game. I think we're like down by 4. We end up coming back and there's like 30 seconds left. It's like a tie game. Nobody can score. And we end up going to overtime. So like my first ever basketball game I played ever, I went to overtime, which is crazy. Because usually the first game you play is like kind of like, it's kind of like a feel-out game or whatever. You're really not expecting much, but the fact that you go into overtime your first game of the season, it's kind of surprising. And for those of y'all that don't know, I do consider myself clutch. Whether it's in 2K or, you know, I'm sorry to say this, but in real life, like I feel like I'm actually like clutch. I feel like I'm born with that. I feel like Kobe in the late game. In reality, I'm probably not, but that's kind of how I felt back then in that moment. So I was playing defense pretty good. You know, I was mostly known as a defender back in elementary, more like a Patrick Beverly type guy. And I still look up to Patrick Beverly this day, one of the best defenders in the league, somebody who I look up to. So I think this whole overtime, both teams kind of combined score like 4 points or something. Like nobody's scoring. So then we go to a double overtime, which is even more intense. Because now it's like, all right, we want this game to end. Who's going to win it now? You know, I'm playing and it's like, you feel like there's adrenaline, you know. You don't know, like, what to do sometimes. And sometimes you end up getting too nervous and you end up choking. And, like, I didn't want to choke, so I was kind of just playing defense. Wasn't really doing too much on offense. And with around 2 minutes left, the other team gets a 4-point lead. And now we're down by 4 with, like, 2 minutes left. And I remember I was like just praying that my teammates just can get a bucket in. But they couldn't. Like we could not get a shot in. And the other team, we were playing good defense, but we get back on the offensive end. We weren't like making shots. And we ended up losing the game in double overtime. I think the final score was like 28-30 or something. It was like by 2 points. And to lose your first game ever in double overtime by like 2 points, that's kind of heartbreaking. I remember I was just sad right after the game. Even after I left the gym and like everybody was home, like I just felt so bad. I was like, man, like can't believe we lost that game. And you know, my family was there to support me, which that's all that matters in the end of the day. And you know, I went back home and kind of just enjoyed the rest of the day. And to be honest with you guys, our team really did suck. We were probably one of the worst teams in that league. We only had one win the whole season, and that win was because the other team didn't have enough players, so they were disqualified, but we still played the game anyway for fun because they kind of decided to, and that was the only game we ever won. So technically we never won the game because we were that ass of a team. But you know, I still had a lot of fun. It was a great experience practicing. You know, I learned a lot about the game, and I'm thankful for that experience even though our team was ass. That wraps up my story. Kind of long, kind of crazy, you know. I love this game of basketball, so I feel like it was kind of a cool story to tell of that first game I ever played, which is, I never forget about that game ever in my life. It was one of the craziest moments of my life ever. So I just want to thank you guys for watching the video. Make sure you like and subscribe if you enjoy my content, because I'll be uploading new videos every week. And other than that, I'm out. Peace.